Thank you very much. I think we have had a very interesting morning where we have a lot of very interesting talks and suggestions about safe food for more people. The question to us here in the last session here is safe food, who is responsible? And with my background in the industry, you have heard the description of Danish Crown from Jan Bøg. I have been chairman there for 10 years and have been involved in many of the big industries for many years. So with that background, it's quite clear when I should give a precise answer to who is responsible. It is the industry. Of course, the producer, the industry always is responsible for the product delivered. That's quite clear. But what is then the role of the other actors in the system, in the food system? What is the role of the authorities and the whole food chain? For me, is the most important conclusion and most important thing for the authorities is to make consumers confident that really the rules and regulations are followed by the industry, and that we have rules and regulations. And I fully agree with what we just heard, that this cooperation setting up rules and regulations with authorities, industry and consumers, that's the way we have the frame for producing. But the main task for the safety authorities is make consumers confident. Responsibility is by the industry for the products produced. And of course, then we have, as Christopher Werner explained us, the risk management through the whole chain. Of course, the manufacturer, the distributor, the retailer, the consumer in the end, and the chefs have their responsibility acting right in the whole food chain. Having said that, then, and I will ending up also with a proposal where we could really increase for all of us the food safety. But before ending up doing that, then I would draw your attention to some dilemmas when we are discussing this. Of course, we are discussing today reuse, recycling, resource efficiency, but that certainly gives us some dilemmas. Of course, not just authorities, but all of us want to promote reuse. But as also said in this panel, are all the producers living up to the common standards? If we in one of our companies are living up to that standard, and when we are exporting to some other countries, or other countries or companies are importing to Denmark, if we don't live up to some standards, then we have a problem with the competition. Other dilemma is recycling. We know also the examples there. Anybody are talking about how we are using animal protein in a very wise, good way. We have had a very safe example here, but we know, all of us know the mad cow disease example, where that gives some problem. And also talking about resource efficiency, we have a dilemma. We all know that if we are using in a clever way genetically modified crops, we could increase resource efficiency, but we also know that many of our consumers don't like that. So there surely are some dilemmas when we are discussing our safe food responsibility. But what I will end up saying something about is really what Andrew Fordyce also was saying something about, that really there is a change in consumer lifestyles. And that gives us surely some dilemmas. There is a desire for fresh and tasty food, on the same time, we want minimal packaging and processing. There is an increasing number of labor-saving activities. We have in our households microwaves, food processors, and so on and so forth, and that's not exactly what gives us directly fresh food. And there is an increasingly lack of knowledge by consumers, and more of you have already said education is very important. Having said that, as it was said in the introduction of me, I have been part of this Food Nexus consortium where we have gathered all the big industries in Europe together with the best universities, trying to come up with a proposal for the upcoming food kick. One of the issues we have been discussing is how to enable consumers to make informed choices about food innovation, not just to food safety, but also to health and quality. We have also been discussing that this morning because we are not anymore producing to the consumers or to our customers. We really should involve the consumers in our production. And what we have been discussing is this, and that I think is very important to discuss. We have already heard also, some have mentioned digital possibilities, e-platforms, big data. So could we come up with solutions where we have an open access, knowledge-based, supported by convenient consumer interface with data from the whole food chain? That's one point, we could do that already. Other point is, of course, that we have to discuss, we have to develop, to innovate new paradigms for interacting with consumers. And, of course, we have to provide hands-on learning opportunities for new generations of consumers, of chefs, and so on and so forth. I see a huge possibility if we come up with that solution. And that brings me then to the conclusion. Yes, as I said, the industry, the producer, is responsible. We should, as industry, react on safety issues. We should be proactive on safety innovation, but we should also be responsible, as I just said, to involve and enable the consumers to take the right decisions. The same is the case, the same responsibility have the authorities, and of course the consumer organizations should be part of that. If we succeed there, enable consumers to make informed choices, we could really increase food safety. So that's my suggestion.